China's tank industry developed along a very different path from that of the European powers. Despite earlier attempts before and during World War II, mass-produced armored vehicles only began appearing in the PRC in the late 1940s. A truly distinctive design style didn't emerge until much later, closer to the end of the Cold War. In War Thunder, the Chinese tech tree includes Soviet exports, vehicles that only resemble Soviet designs on the surface, and modern, original vehicles. Today, we'll take a look at the most heavily armored, fastest, and most dangerous Chinese vehicles available in the game. As we all know, a tank is first and foremost an armored vehicle. So let's start with protection. You won't find heavily armored giants like the British tortoise or the German mouse in the Chinese tree. But there are plenty of MBTs with very solid armor. Take the ZTZ-88, for example. From the front, it's protected by composite armor, and its turret is based on the T-54. As such, the ZTZ-88 can make very good use of its armor at medium and long ranges. And even up close, it can shrug off outdated sub-caliber rounds. The ZTZ-59D1 also boasts impressive armor, featuring ERA blocks that are quite effective at countering heat projectiles at its battle rating. And for fans of more traditional armor arrangements, there's the Soviet IS-2, a classic heavy tank that feels right at home at its BR. China is just as well equipped when it comes to firepower. The PLZ-83-130 is a self-propelled gun with a cannon that can punch straight through the front of almost any Rank 5 vehicle and destroy it in a single hit. Among more modern designs, the ZBD-04A IFV stands out. It's dangerous not only because of its fast, hard-hitting ATGMs, but also because of a reload time of just 4 seconds. China also fields several SPGs with formidable weapons. The PTZ-89 features a 120mm gun, an autoloader with a 10-round ready rack, a full-fledged stabilizer, and a reload of only 5 seconds. Then there's the PLZ-05. It is fitted with a 155mm artillery gun, with an automated reload time of just 7.5 seconds, high magnification optics, and a laser rangefinder. There's no shortage of really fast vehicles in the Chinese lineup either. Consider the wheeled combat vehicle ZLT-11, for instance. It may be slightly less mobile than the Italian Centauro and other vehicles in its class, but it can swim and carries one of the best 105mm rounds in War Thunder, the DTW-2-105. Then there are the ZTZ-99A and the experimental WZ-1001. These are the fastest Rank 8 MBTs and among the quickest tanks in their class overall. Despite their visual similarity to Soviet MBTs, the ZTZ-99A accelerates noticeably faster than the T-72 and T-90, with a top speed of up to 75 kilometers an hour. At that pace, neither the Leclerc nor even Japan's Type 10 can dream of catching up with it. The most influential tank in the Chinese tech tree is the Type 59, a modification of the Soviet T-54A. The USSR began supplying the tank to China back in the 1950s, and local engineers used it as the foundation for their own vehicles well into the 1970s. The War Thunder roster includes no less than a dozen vehicles sharing this platform, from the Type 59 itself to the ZTZ-59D1, the QN506, and many others. In fact, if we look at the early tanks of the Chinese tech tree, before the arrival of the near-ubiquitous Type 59, there are so many distinct and interesting vehicles that you could easily turn them into a very respectable museum collection. Vehicles from different nations and schools of tank design are mixed together, and that's part of the charm. You'll find combat vehicles from the Soviet Union, the United States, Japan, Germany, and several other countries, even Vietnam. Some of these machines deserve special attention. The M55 howitzer, for instance, mounts a massive 203mm gun, a record among classic artillery pieces in War Thunder. It's one of those cases where you can easily overlook its finicky ballistics and overall slowness for the sheer impact of a hit. And the LVT-A ZIS-2 light tank is a fascinating hybrid of two engineering traditions: an American amphibious vehicle armed with a Soviet anti-tank gun. The Chinese tree in War Thunder is defined by its unbelievable range. After all, you go from the early rank melting pot to fast modern MBTs, mobile IFVs, and vehicles with extreme firepower. Which Chinese tanks are your favorites? Tell us in the comments down below.